Apex Online Racing is sponsored by Elgato, who created this lovely Stream Deck. For more information about the Stream Deck, the link is in the description below.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, brothers and sisters. This is the Apex Online Racing iRacing GTE League, season number 7, round number 8, here at the newly implemented modern day layout of Silverstone. My name is King-Kodiak and I'll be your commentator throughout this evening's race. Right, as our pro-ams get ready to go, they should now be shuffling out of the field for their stint in qualifying. For those unfamiliar with the format that we use here in the GTE League, our 3 categories, our pros, our pro-ams and our ams, all have 8 minutes of qualifying each. So each week a different group will come out to start their qualifying run, and this week it is the turn of the pro-ams to open the proceedings. So they'll come out first, have their 8 minutes to set the best lap they can, and then they have to get out of the way for the AM category. They get their 8 minutes, and then the pros will see out the session. So before we have a look at... actually, I was going to go through the championship standings, but we will do that in the gridding phase. Let's have a look at who is representing our pros this... our pro-ams this week. Alexander Waldo in the 216 AOR Hime Ferrari. We have got the 263 VSR Alpha Porsche of Christopher Pfeffer, who was quickest in practice by a very narrow margin, but he was quicker than everybody else. The 208 Ferrari of the Mayella HCR Scuderia Ferrari of Scott McCracken. The 219 Porsche of the the T19 Team Bushwick Racing Porsche of Daniel Page. The 200 AOR Hime Ford of Sarah Dove. The 264 Mayella HCR Yamagura Ferrari of Liam McNinch. The 250 Comrade Tepper Alliance Ferrari, very slowly for some reason, is Alex Bennett. The 286 VEC Sim Racing Porsche, that sounds very ugly, on Sylvia Moraine's car. That sounds like he's doing that on purpose. The 279 Privateer BMW of Robin DeVille. 221 VC Racing Porsche of Morgan Van Lanes. The 214 Alpine Stars Geodesic Racing BMW of Andrew Langham Service. The Travel 2 AOR Yellow BMW of Evan Imre. The 220 AOR Yellow Ferrari of Knut Martinson. And finally we have the 230 V3 Racing Gold Porsche of Ranu Luke. No one getting a time on the board as yet, but plenty of time for our drivers to do something about where they are sitting. Now, there were 39 drivers with us for this evening's race when I counted as the practice session ended. So we will see who is... I didn't see who came out first, so that... Let's start finish line is that. Now that is Alexander Waldo coming over the old start finish line. That's going to come into cops, I would think. Yep. Now, as a Brit, I'm very attached to Silverstone. It's the one track I have been to. Well, I say one track. It's the one F1 race I've been to in real life, which was Silverstone last year. I had the great pleasure of sitting in the grandstands at Luffield. And, of course, I'm British, so of course I'm going to enjoy Silverstone. I just think Silverstone's a great track. Provides some awesome racing. As we watch Alexander Waldo come down to Stowe, with one of the Porsches directly behind. That's Mr. Page in the Bushwick Racing Porsche, I would think. It is indeed. Also, one of the few times I've actually done any kind of league racing, it was at the short version of Silverstone, but I actually managed to win. is the only win I've ever managed to do. So, on board with Daniel Page as he continues to chase Alexander Waldo. We've come through Abbey, through Farm, and heading towards Village. Heavy on the brakes, down through the gears. Oh, wow, Daniel Page. No, he's not continuing with that. We'll pick up Alexander Waldo. So he's come through the loop. Now, through the Village. Onto the Wellington Straight, where Kimi Räikkönen very famously had an argument with that bridge section there. Scott McCracken is top of the Pro-Ams at the moment with a 56.568 into Brooklands. Round Luffield, a bit of a slide for Mr. Waldo. It's carrying on nonetheless. Through Woodcote, flat, sweeping right-hander. Over the rump strip, absolutely fine. Through the old start-finish straight, or the national start-finish straight, I should say. Cops. A little bit of a lift. It's very easy to wander too far there. Now, this circuit is very heavy on tyre wear, and the Ferrari particularly prone to it, so we should see people at least contemplating going onto tyres as we come through Maggots and Beckett's. Now, here is particularly bumpy as well, on the exit of Maggots. Through Chapel, onto the Hanger Straight. Streaming on towards Stowe. Just an ever so slight movement over to the left-hand side to sweep through the long right-hander. You can hear just this, how the car's sliding. Now Waldo then feathers the throttle. Heavy on the brakes for Vale. Those big red sausage curbs will kill you if you go near them. Even the GTEs don't particularly like them. Through Club, and to complete the lap, does Alexander Waldo improve from his 58.7. He did barely by 1,000ths of a second. He's got 58.3 on the board. The current pole time for the Pro-Ams in the hands of Scott McCracken. One of the front runners for the season for the Pro-Ams. Usually the Pro-Ams are quite well represented. Right, it looked a little bit more even actually this week. So a 156.568 on the board for Mr. McCracken. Everybody except for Andrew Langham's service out on track. They have got 1 minute 20 left of their session. Now, if they start a lap before the checkered flag falls, they are allowed to finish it. The AM class that will come out are not allowed to impede them. They must stay out of the way. But as soon as these guys finish their laps, they must get out of the way. Invalid lap from Mr. McCracken. Morgan Van Anes currently second. Just a tenth and a bit behind with a 156.701. Where is he? He's on the Hanger Straight. I can't quite identify who that is ahead of him. It's so easy to overcook Stowe, either the entrance of it or just to be too greedy on the throttle and fly off the road. Again, the incident limit is always waiting with open arms, as Morgan's just giving himself some space to wind up for another lap. 20 seconds to start a lap or get out of the way. Alex Bennett is back in the pits. He is fourth with a 156.854. And there is Daniel Page currently third. That's Magus Beckett's that he's currently in. You see how the car is bouncing around as he comes through the exit of Maggots into Chapel. That's going to be interesting, especially when the pack's very, very tight. Andrew Langham's service and Rano Luke are not even in the session. Not the Silver Moraine, interesting. Or they're not on track, I should say. Manonace coming down Wellington Straight towards Brooklands. There's Canute. That's Stowe. I should be good with my visual cues. Right now, the AMs should be getting underway. I can't quite see from here because the pit lane circumnavigates this particular section. Let's see what Canute can do. He's currently fifth with a 56.888. He improves in time, but goes up to fourth. Just usurps Alex Bennett for that position. Where is Morgan? He's backed out of that. We'll start no higher than third with that 56.701. Saradov, pretty much bang in the middle of the class. 57-1. She's just gone on to the hangar straight. So we've seen the previous iteration last season or season before. I think it was last season we saw the previous version of the Silverstone track used. And very recently the modern day version was implemented into iRacing, and here we are. Our GTEs showing off what this track is made of. Does Sarah improve? 157.1, she does. 156.858 puts her up into 6th position. 4 thousandths off the back of Bennett. Nicely done. Let's have a look at our AMs then. Who's representing our AM category? Cohen Van Eyck in the 318 Line Racing Porsche. Our champion, 345 Privateer Ford of Jamie Smith. The 311 Alpine Stars Geodesic BMW of Alex Duplessis. The 371 V3 Racing Red Ford of Thomas Coombe. The 317 Privateer entrant of Matthias Sala Christensen in the Ford. The 307 PCDT Motorsports BMW, our graphics god that is Nick Domino. The 343 PCDT Motorsports Porsche of Craig Parsons. The 329 V3 Racing Gold Porsche of Gilles Hendricks. First time we've seen him this season. I'm fairly sure Joe Myers has been in the iRacing GTEs before, but it's the first time seeing him this season. Welcome to you in the 354 PCDC Motorsports Yellow Porsche. The 324 Castrol Liveried Ford, the privateer entrant of Marco Zelenica. 342 BMW, the Frederick Hacker Racing BMW of Jürgen Kleiber. The 366 VSR Alpha Ferrari of Ben Hitchcock. 348 Big Blocks Racing BMW of Philippe Salinar. And the 304 LM Connection Porsche, that says 104 on the side of the car, it's actually 304, of Victor Matias, who is going to be getting their laps done. There's Cohen Van Eyck, who I believe, if not leading, is one of the people at the top, the sharp end of the AM category. It's coming through the old start finish straight, coming through Woodcote, heading through Copse. So we'll keep an eye then on how he does. Quite a numerous amount of AMs. Good to see. Always enjoy having a large contingent of drivers. Van Eyck coming through Maggotts and Beckett's himself. Oh, Jamie Smith, that looks very deep, coming through Vale. That's a follow. Oh, we're starting to get some times on the board. I think Jürgen Kleiber has done a 57.8. Sorry, Joe Myers a 58.2. Beg your pardon. As Joe Smith starts at Joe Smith. Goodness me, now muddling up names again. Jamie Smith rather starts getting lap times in. 58.7. Jamie Smith 59.5 for Philippe Salinar. New pole time. That's Victor Matias. Or new AM pole, I should say. A 57.5 puts him 12th overall. Evan Imre is right behind, well, 3/10 behind. I think Evan has jumped back to the pit. Oh my days! Is that right? It is. Cohen Van Eyck has usurped the entire Pro-Am category with a 56.452. When I said, is that right? I realised that sounded very disingenuous. I wholeheartedly apologise to Cohen Van Eyck. Really didn't mean it to sound like that. And there's not anybody that close to him that he would have slipstreamed off of. I just did not expect. I expected, the AMs to be in amongst the Pro-Ams. That's what we tend to see. Well, all three categories do tend to kind of muddle. It's not a case of all the Pros and all the Pro-Ams and all the AMs. I didn't expect one of the AMs to beat the entire Pro-Am category. That caught me a little bit by surprise. I mean, Cohen has been very, very, very strong all season in the AM category. I expect him to jump up next season as he returns to the pits. Maybe he feels he can't improve. He's got a couple of minutes, though. He has got time to come back out if he comes out in the next about 30 seconds or so. There's Victor Matias, who is second still. That 57.5, he is heading down the hangar straight. Someone ahead, I can't quite identify who that is. Third is Evan Imre, who is in the pits, and he's been there a while, so he may opt to not run again. There's Jürgen Kleiber, that's coming over the line. That's an out lap for him, or a slow lap indeed. That's coming up as invalid, so no improvement there. Currently 4th for Jürgen. Ben Hitchcock, there he is in the VSR Ferrari. There's one of the BMWs ahead of him, I can't see who. And over the line for Ben Hitchcock. He improves narrowly by about 200ths of a second there. Oh, that is that BMW that's lost it and ended up in the wall. I didn't see who that was. Joe Myers, that is coming into Vale. So, he looked rather hot coming into... Oh no, it's not Vale at all. That's Brooklands. That's why it looked hot. It's nowhere near where I thought it was. Goodness me, there's me saying I should be okay with my visual cues. Alex Duplessis has yet to get a time on the board. Along with Craig Parsons and Gilles Hendricks. Gilles coming to the end of his lap. That is... Nope, that's Brooklands again. I did it again. Why am I confusing Brooklands? Well, they're both slowish left-handers, I suppose. Goodness me. That's the last time I say I'm familiar with the track. What's worse is I have my track map next to me as well. So Cohen has not come back out, so he's opted to remain where he is. 30 more seconds, and we will have our pros come onto the field. Where's Victor? That's Brooklands. Good grief, now I've got Brooklands on the brain. That's Beckett's, rather. Yeah, coming through Chapel. I think he may have backed off a bit. If he has, and he's not going to beat the flag from there. He's got 15 more seconds. He'll finish the lap they're on. They won't be able to start another one. He might still improve. I just thought he was a little bit slower coming out of Chapel. We'll see, can he improve from that spot? Oh, I think there's a driver joining us. Rather late, if that is. Our pros are ready to go, and Victor Matios has backed out of that. His day is done. The pros should now be on the move. There they go. The pros have been released from the pit lane. Any more movement for the... Oh, that is amazing from Victor... Oh, no, Victor Matios already was second in class, as we saw. Ben Hitchcock didn't improve. Jürgen Kleiber 4. Nick Domino 5. Oh, Craig Parsons is still up. Nope, he's been that one. Philippe Salinar, no, he's back to the pits. Salo Christensen is getting into the pit lane. I think that... Oh, no, Duplessis is coming to the end of his lap. Now, Chris Yardley and Daniel Linholt have not set a time. I know there were a couple of people that were under penalty, so it could well have been them. What does the geodesic BMW get on the board? And it is... a 57.7. That jumps him up to 14th overall. That's a pretty decent spot, actually. That's 3rd in class. Very nicely done. Our pros are now on the field. Let's see who we have got. The 161 Porsche for Sim Racing Channel White of Roberto Edwards. The 194 BMW of N-Race Esports of Jeremy Rolou. The 188 Alpine Stars Geodesic Porsche of Timo Gorlick. Number 1, the champion. It is the Alpine Stars Geodesic Racing Porsche of Dan Sasolski. Our championship dominator, the 113 Satellite Racing Ferrari of Jarek Aroni. The V3 Racing 196 Ford of Mike Scapers. The 110 Alpine Stars Geodesic Racing Porsche of Claudia Klima. Oh, in there somewhere is a lagging 109 Comrade Gaming Porsche of Christoph Holstein. I think that is it. Quite a small representation from our pro category. Wow, Christoph Holstein's lagging very, very badly. So we have 14, I think it was, pro-ams. Slightly more ams. And 9 pros. Oh, Nathan Parkinson as well. This hasn't come on the track for Alpine Stars Geodesic Racing. He's not moving at the moment. There is Mike Scapers being chased by Dan Sasolski. None of the pros getting a time on the board as yet. That's Jeremy Rolou that is coming to the end of his outlap, I think. Or maybe he invalidated his outlap. I don't have a time on the board for him. But let's see as the 194 BMW comes over the line. Through Club. And that was indeed his outlap. There's Timo coming through Woodcote, heading towards Copse. Is anyone about to clock a lap? Well, Dan's right behind Mike. Where's Jarrad? He's right behind them. Klima coming out of the pits. Who should we follow? There's Dan. Jarrad's behind him as we know is. No. Yep, let's follow. I think Timo is the lead car on track. It's going through them all. Yeah, I think Timo Gorlick is actually the lead pro on track at the moment. Oh, he's pulling over. Well, then, when that idea. Was that Rolly that just went past us? Oh, was that Mike that just went past? One of the Fords did. Yeah, we'll follow Mike. 4 minutes on the board, or just over, for our pros to round out the qualifying session. Let's see. And interestingly, whoa! That's one way to do it, Mike. On board then with Mike Scapers in the Angry Birds pig liveried V3 Racing 196 Ford. He's going to clock a time, and he's immediately going to pull over. That was a 156.7, which even with that slide, is still not bad. There's Dan. He is coming into Brooklands. So he's still some way from complete. We don't have... Oh, Jared Caroni. I should have known he'd be one of the first to set a time. At the top of the pile with a 156.179, 2 tenths quicker than Cohen Van Eyck. There's Mike. He's just gone through the loop out of Aintree down Wellington Straight. So he's some way off of completing his lap. Who else is on the field? Roberto Edwards. That's Luffield and and Woodcote, rather. Where's Rollo? Rollo is coming through. Where is he? Oh, he's down there at the loop. So he's at the beginning of his lap. I'm surprised I'm not finding anybody towards the end of that lap. Mike should be getting there. Mike's coming into Maggins and Beckett's. He's just gone through Copse now. Let's follow him through the remainder of his lap. You can see just how close Mike gets to those orange curves. And some of them are comparatively flat. Almost straight lines that exit from Chapel. The Ford is a little bit kinder on its tyres, I'm told. So those in the Fords may have a bit of an advantage. Regularly we'll talk about any one particular car having an inherent advantage. But Silverstone is if Silverstone is as much a tyre killer as I've been led to believe, you may well see those in the Fords opting not to change tyres, or possibly backing off a little bit, looking after them just to make sure they've got some life left in them before the end of the race. Through club for this lap then. Mike gets... That's an invalid lap from Mr. Scapers, so he'll have a little bit of time to complete this one. Where's Jarrad? Okay, very, very wide line coming through Vale. Now club. So he's winding up for a one less ride on board with Jared Caroni then. So we've seen how the Pro-Ams do it, we've seen how the AMs do it. Let's see how the pros take to this track. Jared Caroni already in pole, as mentioned, with a 56.179. Heavy on the brakes, down through the gears. He comes into Villis, down to the loop. Again, as close to that orange, well, rather pink, as he dare. And over the curb at Aintree. Under the bridge. Streaming towards Brooklands. Now expect this one to be quite a strategic race, due to the tyre wear issues as mentioned. Or people will just opt to fly off and take the tyre change later on. So take the longer pit stop. We will see. Claudio Klima jumps up into third overall with a 56.466, 20 seconds still on the clock. And has returned to the pits. Bearing in mind, that's 15,000 slower than Cohen Van Eyck. Absolutely stunning effort from Cohen there. Through Maggots and Beckett's. As the checker flag is about to fall. There it is. They have got 2 and a bit minutes to complete their laps. Mike is still out there. Dan is still out there. Nathan Parkinson has jumped up to 14th overall. Which, to put it in comparison, that is 4th or 5th in class. It just goes to show how well our Pro-Ams have done as well. Our AMs are putting a pretty good showing as well. Actually, all 3 classes have done brilliantly well. Here comes Caroni through Vale towards Club. Can he improve? 56.179 his previous time, and he did! He has broken 156, the only man to do so. 155.968 for the Satellite Racing Ferrari. Who's still out there? Dan Sosowski's still out. Where is he? That looks like he's coming towards Maggots and Beckett's. That's exactly where he is in the geodesic Porsche. Timo Gorlick is still on track. Actually, only 2 geodesic Porsches are out there, which is Gorlick and Sosowski. So that's Luffield and Woodcote that Timo's has gone through. He's got enough time to complete the lap, but Dan Sosowski will get there first. Currently, Dan is 13th overall, and that is 3rd in class. Wow. 157.076. Oh, wow. Dan through the nose of the Porsche coming into Vale. Sweep through the final turn. Can he improve? He does indeed. 56.889. Tends to have a little bit of adjustment. Only jumps him up to 11th, so no improvement in class. What about Timo? He's coming down to Stowe. I was just about to say that's the thing that's very easy to do. You just time your turn in that tiny bit too late, or you're braking slightly too late, and you just never ever come back. Wow, look at this. Caroni taking the pole again. He's almost unsurprising, but Cohen Van Eyck, 2nd in the entire field on the front row. Then it is Scapers, Klima, McCracken, the Pro-Am pole in 5th. Brilliantly done there. Page, Valanays, Martinson, Bennett, Dove, Sosowski, McNinch, Langham Service, Parkinson, DeVille, Pfeffer, Luke, Gorlick, Matios. There you go. 2nd and 19th is what separates the AM class. Duplessis, Imre, Hitchcock, Kleiber, Domino, Edouard, Zelenika, Hendricks, Myers, Waldo, Parsons, Coombe, Moraine, Smith, Salinar, Christensen, Holstein. These are the ones that didn't get a time on the ball. Holstein, Rollo, Lindholt, Yardley, and O'Reed. Oh, I didn't even notice that we had Casper O'Reed with us. So a late entry. 41 drivers are how many graces us for this race. Absolutely amazing stuff. Wow, the blimp's a long way away. But that gives us a chance to have a look at our championships. That's how the AM Championship looks. Victor Matios with a fairly comfortable lead up front with a 55-point deficit between himself and Daniel Lindholt. With Fletcher, who we don't have with us today, Cohen Van Eyck with that stunning time is in really good shape to help his championship charge. Hitchcock, Coombe, Domino, Zelenika, O'Reed, and Kleiber round out the top 10 in the AMs. The Pro-Ams, Langham Service holds the top spot. Again, that's been ping-ponging between himself and Sylvia Moraine. Alex Bennett has had some real strong showings this season. So then McCracken, Martinson, Dove, Gibbons, no longer in this championship, sadly. Page, Imre, and DeVille. At the top of the pros, Caroni, of course, is leading the way by a considerable distance. Then it is Klima, Sosowski, Holstein starting all the way at the back. But it's an hour and 20 minutes here, so it's still a long, long way to go. So, just because he's starting at the back doesn't really mean anything, especially if he can manage his tyres. But we'll see how well the Porsche can do. Apparently the Porsche is kind of the middle of the car range. It's the Ford that's good and the Ferrari that's bad in that respect. And then Draxler, Scapers, Gadamer, Costa, Marinsky, and Gorlick. Marinsky, I don't believe he is with us. Let's have a quick look at the teams. Comrade at the top with 366, but not a great deal between themselves and Satellite. And then it is the two geodesic squads, or two of the geodesic squads, the black and the gold. Then Huber Racing and V3. Black Eagle, we don't have Ivor Costa, which is a bit of a shame, considering I still remember his heroics very well from Phillip Island. then Mayella HCR Scuderia, then the third Geodesic Squad, and the Comrade Tepper Alliance. Right, the lights are coming on as we head down to track, as we will be getting our rolling start underway. Let's jump more towards the front of the field. There's Caroni, Claudio Klima. Look at Holstein, look at that. There's my favourite grinning Ford of Chris Yardley. Here they come. Karen Van Eyck has got a lot of company there. And of course, Jared Caroni joining him on that front row as they weave their way through. Of course, it's a new circuit. They don't have very much in the way of, rolling start. We've lost Nathan Parkinson and Casper Ulreed already, so down to 39 cars. We haven't even started yet. Here we go. We are racing here at Silverstone as Mike draws alongside Karen Van Eyck, streaming on down towards Abbey. Oh, wow, that was close between Karen Van Eyck and Mike Scapers. Here we go, streaming through the field as I've got the wrong overlay on. It should be that one. Oh, wow, Cohen doing what he can to hang on in there right at the front. Already we've got a 4 into the limit. 4 into on the board for Mike Scapers. Jared Caroni doing what he normally does. He's starting to run away with it up front. Lots of jostling for position. And wow, my computer is struggling for some reason. Don't know why, but hopefully that will settle down. Nothing has changed since I broadcasted on Friday, so no idea what is going on there. Oh, we've definitely got trouble. We've got someone that's stationary. It's Liam McNinch. Oh my goodness, has had a lot of trouble. We'll hopefully catch up with you in a little bit. But look at Caroni. He's really starting to stretch his legs up front. Scapers is 1.1 behind him, but has gotten a little bit clear of Karen Van Eyck. There he is, the AM leader. Right up there in third position. Claudio Klima 4. Scott McCracken 5. We can get the race overlay on. There it is. That's Canoe Martinson. That's right up in there. Third in the Pro-Am. Scott McCracken, our AM leader. 2 cars back from the AM leader. It's not often you have them that way round. We have seen it before, but it really isn't very common. Then Daniel Page 2nd and Canoe Martinson 3. Then you've got Alex Bennett 4. Morgan Van Arnes 5. The top 5, top 6 indeed of the Pro-Ams. Very, very close together as they stream down towards Stowe for the first time in anger. Sasulski is in trouble. He's got a slowdown penalty from the exit of Chapel and losing a whole bucket load of time and positions as a result of it. Karen Van Eyck always lost a position to Claudio Klima. It probably isn't in Cohen's best interest to fight too hard at this stage, as none of the cars around him are in his class. You've got to go. Oh wow, that's Daniel Page that's in trouble. He's got to slow down as well, and he's dropped down to 11th. That's Rano Luke directly behind. Jumping back up to Karen Van Eyck, you've got to go all the way down to 13th, which is Nick Domino. Oh, now 12th, because Daniel Page is still falling through the field for his slowdown penalty. Getting a slowdown is so detrimental at this stage of the game, because the game gives you, iRacing gives you a delta to slow down to, but he doesn't know what to compare it against. So it just gives you a whacking great big time to drop. And still Daniel Page is falling down to 15th now. Sarah Dove behind, Robin DeVille already ahead. Karen Van Eyck, as mentioned, so 4th to 12th is what separates first to second in the AM class. The second being Nick Domino. That's the distance that's just been highlighted. That's about 6 seconds-ish between Domino and Van Eyck at the moment. Once again, Nick Domino having a good start in class at the moment. Oh, that's Pfeffer's had trouble, I think. No, Pfeffer is lagging badly. Very, very, very badly. So it's upsetting my numbers somewhat. There is McCracken, Pro-Am leader, still with Canoe Martinson in very short order. They've lost one in that pack, I think. No, they haven't. They've just shuffled around a little bit. As McCracken continues to chase Karen Van Eyck again, Cohen may choose to just let the Pro-Am leader go. We will see. Jared Caroni continues to lead. 1.3 seconds separates himself and Mike Scapers in the Angry Birds Ford. Klima 3. So the top 3 fairly spread out, and then a big train behind Karen Van Eyck in 4th position. Now that pack is Van Eyck, McCracken, Martinson, Bennett, Van Arnes, Langham Service, And attaching himself to the back of it is now Timo Gorlick. Next in line in the Pro class. That is 4th in the Pro class. Several of his geodesic squad already ahead of him. Wow, Cohen Van Eyck already on 7 on the incident. I mean, he's really got to kind of slow that down. Oh, Nathan Parkinson and Casper already did start, but they're already a lap down. They started from the pit lane. Oh, Timo Gorlick did not get the loop quite right and has lost the position there. Oh, Roberto Edouard has just lost the spot to Robin Deville and is under pressure from a recovering Daniel Page. That's down in 14th. The BMW stuck right in the middle. The Porsche stuck right in the middle of that particular scrap going on. Tries an outside maneuver coming into Brooklands. Oh, he's going to lose some momentum there. Just about slams the door on Daniel Page. Oh, gently coming through Luffield. Roberto Edouard has really struggled to maintain the pace of the Pro class, unfortunately. But is doing what he can. Now, as mentioned, the drivers may choose to kind of just sit in the slipstream with someone and just manage their tyres at this stage. The cars are heavy with fuel. They may choose to push later on. I generally don't know. If anyone is wanting to kind of get that tyre change done, they need to get clear of the pack they're in. That's a big train we've got here, so that is dominant. Oh! Bennett and McCracken have swapped round. I think McCracken's had a slowdown. He's just lost 2 positions coming into Stowe side by side with Langham Service coming through that long right-hander. Is he going to lose position to the BMW? He does. He's staying off the racing line. So McCracken has gone from Pro-Am lead to Pro-Am 5th. As that's Timo Gorlick already behind. The Pro-Am leader is now Knut Martinsen. He has won, I believe, or he's certainly been highly placed. I'm pretty sure he's won in class already this season. But that's Alex Bennett all over his tail. But Cohen Van Eyck acting as quite a nice windbreak for them. Oh, Robin Deville and Nick Domino side by side. And that's Deville on the outside. Oh, wow, that got a little bit close coming through Farm. Oh, that's close between Deville and Page. Oh, the Bushwing Racing Porsche had to get out of that. Oh, and that is Pfeffer on the outside. Oh, what a move from Saradov. That was very opportunistic from the Hime Ford. Nicely done. She's got a great view of the fight ahead of her. That's Robin Deville. And then you've got Daniel Page. Oh, she's going to try and part the waves. Oh, she's put herself right in the middle of a 3 wide, forcing the blue BMW wide. Doesn't commit to the move. Oh, that's Deville getting it a little bit deep. Lots of racing room given those. That's going to give Saradov a long way round Luffield. A little one slightly off track, but keeps it nice and tidy. Christopher Pfeffer still trying to do what he can right behind her. That's Nick Domino that's driving that particular train. He's in the AMs. He's 2nd in the AM class. He is now 9-ish seconds. Yeah, nearly 10 seconds behind Cohen Van Eyck now. Here is the AM leader. Oh, a little bit more hesitant coming into Beckett's than I think Roberto Edouard was expecting there. It looked like Edouard had to really back out of that. So those that are playing the tyre conservation game are going to want these big trains. Oh, there goes Edouard. Dives on the inside of Stowe. Oh, Domino's not letting that go though. Gives the racing room, but it's not just letting him have it. As Deville getting past Saradov right behind them. Oh, and that's a spin for Domino. And backs out of that. Oh, that's someone coming in the pits. I thought that was someone getting that. I thought someone getting Vale horribly wrong. Oh, what a shame for Nick Domino. It was Christopher Pfeffer that was coming in the pits. Oh, well, that was a great shame. The 2nd place man in AMS, that's dropped him right the way down to 22nd in between Jürgen Kleiber and Gilles Hendricks. Oh, what's going on with that? Oh, and nothing. Alex Bennett lagged, which I thought he suddenly lost position there. There's Valanace still looking to keep the pressure on. It looks like this lot are kind of managing things right now. Cohen Van Eyck is the train driver of this particular lot. And this is exactly what the Ferraris need. If they are a little bit more unkind on their tyres, they need someone to follow. Where's the blimp, actually? The blimp's miles away. Why is the blimp so high? So that's the top 3 of this particular train. 4, 5 and 6. Van Eyck, Martinson and Bennett. right behind them is Valanace, Langham Service, McCracken and Gorlick. There's Valanace in the bottom of the shot. Starting to spread out a little bit now, but Valanace is really keeping in touch with the... Oh, I did wonder whether he was going to have a look on the inside there. It would have been very dangerous. Very little room to do that down at Maggots and Beckett's, but it's possible to do, but it's more kind of desperation. Stranger things have happened. Right at the top of that shot was Mike Scapers and Claudio Klima. That's for second in the pros. So Jarrad has done his usual thing and given himself a big old gap there. He is going out of the shot. 3.2 seconds separates the Satellite Racing Ferrari and the V3 Racing Ford. But Claudio Klima, representing Geodesic, is piling the pressure on. Oh, swapping position. Oh, that's Jamie Smith. He's gone wrong somewhere. That's down at Stowe. That's Holstein. That's coming through the field. Jeremy Rouleau. It looked like Rouleau got out of the way. Whoa, look at the fight ahead of Holstein. That is Zelenika, Miles and Hendricks. Side by side coming through Luffield. Coming through, beg your pardon, that's coming through Woodcote. Wow. That's you can just about do it without too many problems, side by side down there. I'm doing it again. I got the wrong part of the section. It's always the two start finish race that confuse me. Zelenika, oh wow, he's just pulled ahead of, or pulled in front of Jamie Smith there. There, right behind Smith is Sylvia Moraine. Oh, Langham Service was very, very close to Morgan Valanace then. Ooh, that's Alex Bennett. We're getting a little bit out of shape. As we go on the gearbox of Bennett, that's what he's got to deal with. Morgan Valanace in the 221 Porsche. That's a lot of headlights staring at him. So whilst this is sort of very much like a management type race, like we had what we had last week in Red America, it's very much different. This is a lesser kind of point and click type track. It's much more fast flowing track than Red America is. Ooh, now was Bennett thinking about the... Yeah, I was just wondering whether Bennett felt the need to defend that. Oh, is Valanace going to go for it? He's gone too deep. Morgan Valanace has gone too deep in the VC Racing Porsche, has lost him a position to Langham Service. And right behind them is Gorlick and McCracken. So Scott McCracken, again, that won't really worry McCracken too much, letting Timo Gorlick go. What is going on down here with Holstein? He is side by side with Giant Myers. Another position for the Comrade Gaming Porsche. He's 30 seconds off the lead, but has, from starting in last, Christopher Pfeffer, by the way, is out. We saw him lagging very, very badly, and he has retired his car. We are down to 39 cars. Salinar and Ulreed, well, Ulreed and Parkinson started from the pit lane. Oh, and there's Holstein lagging again. But Salinar has actually been through the pits. He's taken his pit stop very early. The battle for second still raging on. Now we could also, these guys could be just managing their tyres a bit more than Caroni. If the tyres are worse for the Ferrari than they are for the rest, Jarek Caroni needs to build it. He's got to push hard. Even if he tried to manage his tyres, if the Ferrari just naturally chews them up more than anybody else, he will still have a problem comparative to the rest anyway by the end of the race. So Ferrari leads Ford, leads Porsche of the top three pros at the moment. Then there's a big gap, 6 seconds down to Kern Van Eyck, who's got Martinson, Bennett, Langham Service, Valanace, Gorlick and McCracken for company. Oh, and there goes Klima. He's having a look on the inside of Stowe, and Mike didn't fight that, it seems. I reckon Mike let that one go. Mike didn't want to fight that. Mike's managing his tyres. So Klima, I wonder if he feels like he can chase off after Caroni. There's 5 seconds behind him now. So Mike will be quite happy to sit in the slipstream. Oh, there's a swap around. Oh, that's Gorlick side by side with Valanace. Coming through Vale, through Club. Whoa, that's a touch. And the VC Oh, I thought that was a trip into the wall for sure for Morgan Van Aert. He's got to be very careful how he recovers. He just managed to keep it out of the wall. Of course, it's absolutely flat out there as he's coming over the line. And rejoins the racing line down in 17th now. Well, that drops one out of this particular train. Again, Martinson and Bennett there will not be interested particularly in trying to overtake Cohen Van Eyck. They are quite happy for Cohen to use up more fuel and for the two Ferraris to be easier on their tyres. They probably could force the issue if they really felt like it. Now at the back of the train is Andrew Langham Service. That is third in the Pro-Ams. Oops, this is a little wide coming out of left field. There is McCracken and Gorlick behind them. McCracken's gone back ahead of Timo Gorlick. Oh, swap around here. What's going on here? That's Jeremy Reloux coming past Gilles Hendricks. Domino's just lost a position to Christoph Holstein. And again, he won't be too worried about that. And as Christoph Holstein is charging on in the Comrade Gaming 109. I wonder why Holstein didn't set up. I knew a couple of people had pit lane. Had a qualifying ban, but I'm pretty sure Holstein wasn't one of them. Let's see. I was informed. I'm trying to remember who. Yeah, it was Marcus Elonika and Daniel Lindholtz. Well, I thought Lindholtz was one of them. So for whatever reason, Mr. Holstein does not, didn't set a qualifying time. As he flies through on the inside of Jürgen Kleiber. Oh, Salo Christensen has lost a couple of positions. That is Daniel Lindholt and Liam McNinch has just gone past him. Oh, Jürgen Kleiber and Nick Domino. Oh, wow, Kleiber's very slow. Has he had a problem down there? This is... Oh, that was a little late kicking. Oh, so Domino had gone for the move, and Kleiber was very cautious in giving the necessary racing room there. Well driven. Still up, and that is Kevin Martinson disproving what I was saying earlier about wanting to stay behind the Porsche. Oh, can all three of the Pro-Ams go through before they get through Brooklands? Not quite. Andrew Langham Service couldn't quite. Oh, he's on the outside of left field. Oh, and he's gone to hit the dirt. So, Canoe Martinson decided on the Wellington Straight to make the move, but he's brought Alex Bennett with him. He didn't want that. I would imagine he'd have wanted Alex Bennett to be stuck behind the Porsche a little bit more. Again, not like Cohen Van Eyck's slow. His pace has been amazing. Andrew Langham Service nearly pushing the Porsche into maggots, but the reason why Andrew Langham Service is so close, he doesn't want to lose the top two of the Pro-Ams. He doesn't want to lose Martinson and Bennett. So he'll be very eager to get the move done before he gets to Stowe, I'd have thought. There's McCracken, who's starting to leave Gorley behind. Yep, there goes Andrew Langham Service. Oh, Cohen Van Eyck, well caught, sir. The tail of that Porsche decided to let go. There goes McCracken's going to capitalise on that on the inside of Vale. Yeah, nicely done. Cohen Van Eyck knew he was there, gave the necessary racing room. That's going to finish before they get to club. Yep, the Mayella Ferrari is through into 7th, 4th overall. And still, Martinson is being chased by Bennett. If Mike wanted to hang on to the back of Klima, he hasn't been able to do so. Wow, that is... I think that's not Nathan Parkinson jumping out of the way. It could be Casper O'Reed. That's jumping out of the way. No, it's not Casper O'Reed. Salinar? Yep, that's Philippe Salinar. He was 2 laps down, but is still driving on. Fair play to you. Canoe is now 6.8 seconds behind Mike Scapers. I doubt he's going to be interested really in closing that down. He's keeping an eye very firmly on Bennett behind. And Langham Service has cleared Cohen Van Eyck, as we saw. McCracken's got 1.5 seconds to close in. And now right behind Cohen Van Eyck is Timo Gorlick. Again, Cohen may opt to not fight him too hard. A little bit of a gap back to Renault Luke. Next down the road in 10th position in the Porsche, Daniel Page and Robin DeVille still very close together. And right behind them is Roberto Edouard and Sarah Dove. Oh, change of position. Jürgen Kleiber and Jeremy Relu. Now they've been fighting quite a bit in the BMWs. And behind them there's a bit of a pack as well. Joe Myers in the Porsche with Marcus Elenica and the Castrol Ford. And then a little bit less than the second behind them is Gilles Hendricks and Sylvia Moraine. And that's down there in 27th and 28th. We do try and keep an eye on the entire field, but there's a lot of them. I'm fascinated with this pack here, the Pro-Am 1, 2, 3. The pros are fairly spread apart. Jared Caroni leads Claudio Klima by 5 seconds still. Oh, trouble! Joe Myers! Just seen his speed hit 0. That's done at Stowe, and that's exactly what Cohen and Van Eyck did, but oh, and a little bit of a tap there on the V3 Porsche. I'm not sure who that was. I guess it was Gilles. Yep, that was Gilles Hendricks. Oh no, Joe Myers has spun again. He literally spun a few corners later. He's boiled his tyres somewhat. He just needs to get back into the rhythm, let everything settle down, and get back into the groove. It's easier for me to say in the commentary box. Now, Canute seems to have given himself a little bit of breathing space between himself and Bennett. But is that because Bennett is looking at Langham's service, I wonder? We will see. 20 minutes gone, 21 minutes gone, 59 minutes remain. We're on lap 11 of 41. Or 41 predicted laps here at Silverstone. Jared Caroni leads the way in the Satellite Racing Ferrari. About 2/3 of the length of the Hangar Straight to himself. There is Claudio Klima in second, and the geodesic Porsche. Further 2 seconds back is the V3 Racing Ford of Mike Scapers. Whoop, and there you heard the tyres begin to let go. Now he caught that really early, so he didn't lose too much momentum. But it just goes to show that even the greats are making mistakes here. So expect people to really struggle, especially those that are managing their tyres. Expect them to really struggle towards the tail end of the race. So whilst we're in a management phase at the moment, do not expect it to look like that. Angel Langham's service still keeping Alex Bennett for company in 5th overall, 5th and 6th overall. Anyone in trouble on the incident limit? Cohen Van Eyck on 11. Alexander Waldo on 12. There's Salo Christensen on 10. But otherwise, not particularly. There is Scott McCracken, who gained slightly. Actually, no, big one. He lost. He lost 4/10 actually on Langham's service last time around. Is he going to? No, he's not going to. He doesn't fancy a move into Brooklands. It's not a particularly big braking zone there, but also it is a decreasing radius left-hander. Through Luffield. And again, he does favour that wide line on the exit of Luffield. He's very, very close to the sand. It keeps it going. Oh! That is Nick Domino and Jeremy Relu. I don't think Nick will be too worried about that. Well, unless Jeremy can't get on with it from that particular spot. The N-Race Esports number 194. I believe has been promoted to a full-time drive in this league now. These tend to happen. Sometimes drivers are unable to, real life gets in the way, so they have to pull out of the league. So Jeremy Relu in full-time. Remaining rounds. Has nearly a second between Bennett and Martinson, look. They come into Vale once again. Here's McCracken. Interesting to see. He does look closer this time around. We'll see what the lap times say. So, 57.7 for Caroni, 58.1 for Klima, 58.2 for Scapers, 58.4 for Martinson, 58.6 for Bennett, 58.9 for Langham Service, 58.1. Wow! Scott McCracken gaining 0.8 of a second on the BMW ahead of him that last lap alone. So is Scott McCracken starting to get his foot down? 58.1's a decent, very decent lap time indeed. That's actually his best of the race so far, 58.106. Is he opting to shred up his tyres now, I wonder? Oh, Rano Luke and Cohen Van Eyck, very, very close. Cohen going for the defensive line. Oh no, he's backed out of it. I wondered whether Cohen was actually going to try and defend that inside line. But no, he's opted to get out of the way. And I can understand that. Still leads the AMs by quite a way. Still about 6 seconds he's got to himself there. But of course, the more cars he lets through, the less kind of fodder there is in between him and his fellow classmates. Incident count updates. Most people still in single figures except for the same three I mentioned earlier, which is this man Cohen Van Eyck, this man Alexander Waldo on 13, and Teo Sala Christensen still on 10. Now this top three is changing. Oh, Craig Parsons and Jeremy Relou. So Jeremy's gained another spot through the field. And that is a class position for Nick. That's actually second in class. Oh, that's Cohen Van Eyck. Oh my goodness, I would not want to be Cohen Van Eyck right now. He's trying to stay out of the way. He's trying to mind his own business. As if he's a lap down. He doesn't have to let them through. He's not obliged to do that. But he's thinking sensibly. He doesn't want to get involved in a battle. Oh, he didn't want to do that either. He doesn't want to be involved in a battle that's nothing to do with him. None of those cars are in the AM class. They're all Pro-Ams. The pack that's just gone past him. Ooh, I thought he was going to lose it there coming through Abbey. It looked very sideways there. That would have cost him a bit of time against Victor Matias in second. There's only one car. That's actually cost him a lot of time. There is Victor Matias. Gilles Hendricks has brought his car into the pits. Remember, it is still a mandatory pit stop for this race. But that's cost Cohen Van Eyck a huge chunk of a lead there. The blue Porsche, 2 cars back, is the next in line. Cohen Van Eyck lost a huge amount of time letting that pack go. But again, he's thinking longer term. There's no damage on the front right. He's hit something. There's damage to the front right of that car. That's not the shape that wheel arch should be. That could also be why he's struggling. If we look at down to Suzuki, oh, Dance, I think, had an. Oh no, it's just the colour of the livery. So there's Victor Matias. That's second in the Pro-Ams, in the AMS, beg your pardon. Yeah, see, that's what the front right of the Porsche should look like. We look at Cohen's car. Next time we get to see that corner. Unless it's the livery that's... Oh, he looked a little bit... struggling with the bumps a little bit on the exit of Beckett's. I mean, if he has hit something, or been hit by something, it would explain why he's just jumping out of people's way. So that looks bent to me. That looks like there's damage on that front right. Is he coming in? Nope, I thought he was going to come in the pits there. That's a lovely pack right ahead, led by Rano Luke. Then there's Daniel Page, Robin DeVille, Bertie Edouard, and Sarah Dove. Edouard, the only non-Pro-Am car in that pack. The 161 Porsche in the Pro class. Oh! Who was that getting out of the way? Ah, that's Gilles Hendricks coming out of the pits. Now, of course, he is obeying blue flags there. Oh, he's got a problem. I think he's just trying to stay out of trouble. He's had a huge pit stop. He was in the pits for 1 minute 42. That's a massively long pit stop. That's what's dropped him all the way down there. Oh, Plessis has had trouble. Oh, he's throwing that a little bit too hard coming into Woodcote. And hit the ball for good measure. At this stage, it's just about keeping an eye on who's managing the tyres, who is going to kind of jump first. Waldo's in. Now, did Waldo have a problem, or did he bring his car? Oh, he had a problem. Well, there's a spin. Let's just come back a little bit further. Where's that? It's one of the geodesic BMWs. That's a Dabby. Now, he unsettled himself coming into the corner, and unfortunately, he couldn't correct it before he got out of it. He's still rolling backwards, and he retired it. I'll tell you for why. In that one incident, in that one spin, that brought his incident count up to 19. Or in whatever led up to that point, and led his incident count to 19. So yeah, I can understand why he didn't fancy carrying on. All Renault Luke and Daniel Page are swapped round. That's the lead of that train. All Renault Luke having a look in the inside of Vale. A few more people getting into double digits on the incident count now. Scott McCracken and Timo Gorlick on 10 apiece. Cameron Knight still on 11. Liam McNinch's on 12. Alex Duplessis on 10. Oh no, there was an impact there. That's Robin DeVille's gone round. Couldn't quite see that. Let's just have a look again at what's happened here. That is... Edouard has gone into the back of the privateer BMW. He held that brilliantly well. There's Karen Van Eyck. Oh! What on earth happened there? Cohen must be having a problem because as he's gone... Oh! That's what happened. He's certainly got a problem now. And that's put Robin DeVille quite a long way down. And that's Cohen Van Eyck is stationary. No, my goodness. So he was trying to recover from this incident. Of course, he's way off track. Staying out of everybody's way. Oh no, he jumped right in front of Victor Matias. He's damaged the rear wing. And he's had to sit stationary for so long. Oh no, what was such a strong start for Cohen Van Eyck has just disintegrated for him. Oh, Sarah Dove diving on the inside of Roberti Edouard coming into Maggots. Let's see that again. That'll be why he was slow coming through cops. Nice opportunistic move from the Ford, and he's still slow. Roberti Edouard, that's Dan Sasolski, this has gone through. Trouble then for the 161 Porsche. He continues on his way. That's Holstein behind. Christoph Holstein starting dead low in the back pack, so to speak. Oh, wow, Holstein just tapping the back of Valanace there. As Valanace smacked off the apex curb. That's surely going to be moved on for Holstein. Yep, Valanace didn't fancy going, but side by side he's going to nudge the back of the Comrade Gaming Porsche. If he didn't, he was exceedingly close. I think he just managed to get away with it. Looking at the instant count, didn't change, or it was the merest of touch as if he did. And Holstein didn't seem to have to do any corrective manoeuvres there. Whoops, a little bit wide through the loop, but that is up to 14th. The still lagging Porsche. That's the main reason why I haven't looked at Holstein an awful lot. And Valanace will get a bit of a tow down the Wellington Straight, and there he goes again. It's quite disconcerting when a car disappears and reappears right in front of it. Have a look at Langham's service. He's right in between Bennett and McCracken for 5th overall. 2nd in class. Still led by Martinson in the AOR yellow Ferrari. Bennett had a problem then. I think Bennett had a bit of a slide then because I heard someone's tyres beginning to scream, and suddenly the BMW is on the back of the Ferrari. So Alex Bennett a little too hot coming through Maggers and Beckett's. Lost a little bit of time there, but nothing too bad. Through Stowe once again. Oh, Sylvie Marine's in trouble. The VEC Porsche. Oh, that's Salonika that's got it all wrong, and that completely puts Sylvie Marine off. Now, he's got no choice. He's got to wait for a safe spot, and that's a very fast part of the track. That's someone coming out of the pit lane. The rain is slow. Oh, he's just been cautious coming into Maggers and Beckett's. Well. And I suspect as the race goes on, as the tyres wear away, that's going to happen more often. As we still haven't hit halfway in this race yet. Much more of that to be expected, I would say. Just checking with our race leader. There he is. Jared Caroni. 6.3 seconds ahead of Claudio Klima, who in turn is 2.2 ahead of Mike Scapers. In the Pro-Ams, there's our top 3, top 4, 5 I think. Nope, top 4. Timo Gorlick, the back car of that pack, is not in the Pro-Ams. There's your top 4 in the Pro-Ams. Knut Marston leads Alex Bennett, leads Andrew Langham Service, leads Scott McCracken. The AMS, with Cohen Van Eyck's dramatic fall from Grace, is now led by Victor Matias, the LN Connection Porsche. Second, couple of seconds between them, is Ben Hitchcock in the VSR Alfa Ferrari. And third, by about 6.5 seconds-ish, is Craig Parsons in the PCDC Motorsports Porsche. That is Jeremy Ralou. That is... Someone fall off the road there. There's a back marker in the way. That... Oh, Alex Duplessis in the pits again. That's a long stop for him. Oh, and that's Gilles Hendricks lagging around. That'll be the Porsche that we saw. Oh, Evan Imre as what position? Oh, Evans had a problem on the exit of Chapel. Oh, and that's Victor Matias and Robin DeVille. Not in the same class, but fighting over the same bit of track. DeVille, the privateer, entering BMW, in a bit of a scrap with the AM leader of Victor Matias. And Evan Imre along for the ride. No big amount of pit stops at all. Cohen is on 18 incidents now. And a bent rear wing following that impact. Oh, Thomas Goom is in. That's a terrible camera to use. Helmet's not a lot better, but at least it looks in the right way when they get around the corner. So Thomas Coombe in the V3 Racing Red Ford is in. That is Alexander Waldo's Ferrari. It's been there for nearly 8 minutes, so he's not going to be moving. Oh, that's Holstein coming past Edouard for 13th position. Christoph Holstein has been absolutely charging. Despite the tyre concerns, despite the fact that it is about 44 degrees trackside. So we'll see. And there he came. You stop doing that, Mr. Holstein. So it doesn't run a Luca fairly close. Half a second separates the Ford and the Porsche. Sarah a couple of tenths quicker last time around than the V3 Porsche. That is for 6th, I think, in the class. So, yes, battle for 6th. Sarah's hit something, the front right of that Ford. Not in its original shape, by the look of it. Oh, that was someone locking up. That was Daniel Page. 5th in the Pro-Ams at the moment. Yeah, see, the fastest lap we've had so far is 57.0 from Jared Caroni. And even the leaders are in the low 58s. So we're still looking at a management phase at the moment. And probably isn't going to change until sort of the last 10 laps or so, I'd have thought. So we hit the halfway stage now, lap 20 of 41. Oh, we're getting very close to it. Let's have a look. Let's check in with our Pro-Am leader, Knut Marston, still under pressure from Alex Bennett. That's the view back from the Pro-Am leader. That's his chasing 3 adversaries. Alex Bennett in the Conrad Tepper Alliance Ferrari, Andrew Langham Service in the Geodesic BMW, and Scott McCracken in the HCR Mayella Ferrari. Langham Service is the odd one out, being the only non-Ferrari of that pack. But if what I've been told is right, and the Ferrari eats its tyres more, well, it'll be a benefit to Mr. Langham Service towards the tail end, but we will see. No one yet disqualified on the incident limits. Liam McNinch is getting close to it, though. He's on 17. Quite a few people with damage to the front right. This being a fast clockwise circuit. Oh, has he? He's got damage on all four corners by the look of that Ferrari on Liam McNinch. So he's had an eventful race. Conversely, Morgan Manalace on 4. He's still close to Roberto Edouard. Not in the same class though, Edouard in the pros. There's Holstein going out the bottom of the shot. He's got 1.4 seconds to close in to our champion, Dan Sosowski. There he is. I think it's fair to say, and I think Dan will... oh, wow, that was very wide on the exit of turn 17 for Holstein. Evan Imre's in the pits. And Liam McNinch is out. No sooner do I talk about the incident limit. He's pulled over. Did he have another incident? Well, it's Kevin Van Eyck he's chasing. No, he's just decided to call it a day. And he's left the session. So I think he's had some kind of issue. Technical or otherwise. There's Evan Imre in. Right on the halfway stage, so I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people that are... Whoa! Steady on, Mike. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people that are doing the management thing kind of all stream in the next few laps. Anyone that... I'd have thought, though, if anyone was really pushing to burn their tyres up and looking to do a tyre change would have kind of been in already by now. So it looks like everybody is kind of on the same idea here. There's Salo Christensen that's come in. Unfortunately, none of the cameras really see them very early on in the pit lane entry. Sarah and Renault look still very close together, as they have been for a while, still battling for that 10th overall. Oh, hello. The top three of the Pro-Ams have condensed a little bit. Langham Service has dropped Scott McCracken by about 1.2 seconds now, and is looking to progress up the Pro-Am field a little bit. Can we get the chopper cam here? Oh, wow. Oh, Langham Service. I thought he was going to try and cut underneath the Ferrari, but he probably wisely backed out of that. But in doing so, he's lost that momentum. Just about see him at the bottom of the shot there. He's definitely looking to do something, though. Dan Sosowski is in. The number 1 Porsche. Oh, well, that looked very late from Langham Service. Keeps it out of the diffuser of the Ferrari. So, looks like a decent stop is about a minute. Coombe and Imre have done about 54-ish seconds. Nick Domino has come in as well. It'll be a tall surprise, as previously mentioned, we have a bit of a floodgate. Yep, there's another one. That is Kevin Van Eyck. I would imagine he's going to be in the pit a bit longer. You barely see his car over the wall. That Pro-Am battle. Oh, there's another one, Sylvia Moraine. So the floodgates are open now. I wonder if this lot are going to follow each other in, or whether they're going to kind of do the opposite of what the one ahead of them is doing. Looks like Langham Service is a little bit smoother coming through Maggers and Beckett's, but the Ferrari gets a great drive out on the exit of Chapel. Anyone from this pack gonna come in? Doesn't look like it. No movement from them yet. Oh, that was deep from the Ferrari there. Oh, Alex Bennett. And Gorlick is in. It's about 12-ish, about a dozen cars have been through the pit already. And there's another one. Morgan Valanace. Pit lane most certainly open now. And another in, Ben Hitchcock. I wonder if Knut Martin's enjoying this position. He's of course in the lead of the class, but he's just been under that constant, unrelenting pressure from mainly Alex Bennett. We will see. Daniel Lindholt is coming to the pits. Pit lane very, very busy now. Joe Myers brought his car in as well. So not only do we have that battle there, Sarah Dove is still pretty close to the back of Rana Luke. Oh wow, now that's probably not what Langham Service wanted. He wouldn't have wanted to have gained that much on the Ferrari there. And that's going to... Oh wow, that's very deep into Chapel for Alex Bennett. He just cannot pick up the pace exactly when he needs it. Alex Bennett is just able to get the exit he needs, gets the distance and the pace he needs to keep that BMW behind. There's McCracken, and in comes Langham Service. He's fed up with being in that pack, so in he comes. There's Mike. He's actually closed into the back of Andy Kleeman a little bit. There's now 1.3 between those two. Rano Luke's come in. That will release Sarah Dove from that particular squabble that she's been involved in. Roberto Edouard also coming into the pits. But Mike very much closer to the geodesic Porsche now. He has been for quite some time. Yep, DeVille and Relou also come in. So now more people have been through the pits than not. Our top 10 yet to see the pit lane. There's Jarrad, there he is. Nothing to immediately worry about for him. And Knut still got himself a bit of a gap there, but of course now Alex isn't immediately defending from anybody, so if Alex has felt the need, he didn't look like he was putting in any particularly obvious defensive manoeuvres on Langham Service, but nevertheless it's still a distraction having someone that close to your tail. A bit of a slide there from Martinson, but nothing too bad. Oh, that's trouble. That's Zelenika. What's he done? Oh, nearly caught the BMW there. He's had a spin down there at the loop and then had to be very careful how he comes back on track. And that's put Marco Zelenika down to 16th position. Our top two have both come in. Top three have all come in at the same time. Martinson has not, interestingly. So I wonder if what was mentioned about the Ferraris may not entirely be true for all of them. Knut seems quite happy to continue at the moment. Caroni, Klima and Scapers all come in. I would imagine they're all going to come out in the same order. Page and Holstein have come in as well. Holstein made it all the way up to 9th, I think, before coming into the pits. And Knut Martinson is actually our overall leader now. If nothing else, he'll get to lead a lap of Silverstone. His pace has still been pretty good, though. He was 58.6 last time. 58.1's his best. So that's not bad, considering, you know, we're over halfway in this race now. Again, not meaning to suggest that he's not quick. Of course he is, but you know, it's just his pace doesn't seem to be dropping off detrimentally. But still some way to go, though. Another few people in the pits, then the only people that haven't... Oh, Jamie Smith has just come in. So the only people that haven't are our top four. Martinson, Bennett, McCracken and Dove. Sarah does seem to prefer the later pit stops. I was just about to say Marco Zelenika, but as I was just about to say his name, he has come in. So it's just our top four then that haven't seen the pit lane. So now we'll get an idea on how well people have managed their tyres in this latter half of the race. Top three almost equidistant apart. 1.5 back to Bennett, just under 1.2 then back to Bennett to McCracken. There's 11 seconds back to Saradav. So who's going to come in from our top three? I would imagine they're all going to come in a line. There goes Martinson, there goes Bennett, and there goes McCracken. If nothing else, their fuel tank will be screaming for mercy. I would imagine Saradav is going to do the same. And beeline for the pit, in she comes. That will hand the lead back over to Jared Caroni. That we just saw the bottom of the shot was a Daniel Lindholt, I think, and a Marcus Zelenika. No, well that is where those two are, but that wasn't who we just saw. Oh, Silver Remain and Joe Myers. If we look back from Joe, there's Jared Caroni. So, Jared leads by 7.6 seconds over Claudio Klima, who in turn is 1.8 near enough between himself and Scapers. Canute looks like he's going to come back out in fourth. Resumes the Pro-Am lead. There is Bennett. Oh, that's Andrew Langham's service! Oh, now him with a slightly different strategy is going to take second in the Pro-Am if he can get that drive out of Village. He's going to have the inside for the loop. And wow, Alex Bennett gave far more room than he needed to. And that is indeed second for Langham's service. And there's a problem for Dan Sasulski. He's had an incident. That's down at Club. Oh, he hit that corner. I did say those sausage goes were nasty. He hits the wall, and that is Dan Sasulski out. The champion is out of this race. Ouch. Oh dear. So, Andrew Langham's service playing the strategy brilliantly well has put him in second in the Pro-Ams. But with Alex Bennett on, I don't know that anybody has taken tyres. The only one that might have done is Renault Luke, because he had a longer pit stop by about 12-ish seconds. So Renault Luke might have taken new tyres. I'm not sure anybody else did. Martin, look at the gap. He's got 3.2 seconds separates himself and Langham's service. But we saw how Andrew Langham's service was gaining and gaining and gaining on Alex Bennett through Mankers and Beckett. So it could be that the BMW has got the pace over the Ferrari at the moment. We will see if he's able to break away. And Scott McCracken, as you can quite clearly see, he is looming. That's Matthias Sala Christensen behind them. He's a lap down. He won't get involved in the battle ahead of him. Saradav came back out in 10th. That's been a decent effort for her. That's Timo Gorlick behind her. And Holstein, there he is in 9th. He's got a long way to go. Scapers is the next one down the road. He'll finish in 4th in class if the race finished now. .2 behind Daniel Page, so Holstein will have to work his way through the top 5 of the Pro-Ams before he can even think about having a go at Scapers. But he's 22 seconds down the road with, well, what's he got? 14 laps-ish left. Oh, trouble for Kleiben. No, he's just... Oh, did he get it wrong down at Vale? Nope, it was just a pretty conclusive move from Morgan Velanis. Oh, both Bennett and Langham service a bit heavy on the gas on the exit of Luffield. Unbelievably, someone still has a 0 incident. It's Daniel Lindholt has still got that 0, and that is bonus points. Bonus championship points if he can do it. Now here seems to be where Bennett has struggled a bit on the BMW. But he is able to reel in the BMW through the rest of the lap. Moraine and Myers have swapped round. That's down in 29th. BC Sim Racing Porsche. Not had a great day in the office. It's still challenging Myers. Be careful how he makes that challenge. Jumping back up to our Pro-Am battle. Canute still leads it. 3.4 now his gap. So Canute is using the fact that the BMW is fighting the Ferrari to his advantage. And McCracken is right there to pick up the pieces. Daniel Page has Christoph Holstein for company. Holstein gained about 7/10 on Page last time around, so, and of course different classes, so Daniel Page not likely to hold Holstein up too much. Pretty decent race for Christoph Holstein considering he started towards the back of the field. Wouldn't be the result he wanted, but it's a very good recovery drive nonetheless. He's probably had a lot of fun working his way through the field. What shall we have a look at? Saradov was in a bit of a battle. She's now a bit on her own now. 3 seconds behind Holstein, 2.7 ahead of Gorlick. Ben Hitchcock is quite close to Evan Imre. That's down in 16th. Nothing too bad there. Martin Zenalik and Daniel Lindholt. And a bit of a scrap there for 27th. And Moraine and Myers, as we saw earlier, the two Porsches. That, I think, is Jarrah Caroni. This has gone past them. It is indeed. Satellite Racing Ferrari. Now 7 seconds ahead of Klima. Once again, class of 1 for Jarrah Caroni. The Frenchman showing us exactly why he is leading the championship as conclusively as he is. He's lost a little bit of his lead, but nothing too bad. That's what it is. So looking back towards Andrew Langham's service, who himself has built up a bit more of a gap between himself and Bennett, and Holstein and Page have swapped round into Stowe. That one was coming, I think it's fair to say. I don't think Page will be too upset at that. Oh, Cohen's on 19 incident points. He's on the cusp of being disqualified. No one technically has been disqualified yet. We have 34 of our original 40 still running. You got to feel for Cohen Van Eyck though. He's such a strong start on the front row to start with, but unfortunately unravelled as the race progressed. Who should we have a look at? Here's Victor Matias, our AM leader. That's Rano Luke, already ahead of him. Have a quick look down. Who else is close on the instance? Timo Gorlick's on 18. He's not got a lot left to play with. As soon as they hit 20, that is it. They are out. There's no way to come back from it. Everybody else has a few more to play with, really. There's only Timo and Cohen that have a dangerously high count. The next highest is 15, and that's Saradov. So it's not too many to play with, but well, that's going to add one. Yep, and it did. So you can't do that too many times, especially if tyre wear does become more of an issue as the race progresses. And the way that the lap times are getting higher, I would say that tyre wear is an issue, just possibly not as big an issue as initially thought. It's a bit of a pack ahead of. So there's Salo Christensen and Holstein. Matteo Salo Christensen just wanted to stay out of the way. He is a lap down from those around him. Of course, beyond the blue flags. Who is that? Oh, Joe Myers, as that looked like a bit of an incident there between himself and Moraine. What happened here? Oh, that was close. That wasn't impact. I didn't hear it if it was. Now is this Joe Myers getting his braking wrong for the loop. Oh, that's Relu on the back of Hitchcock on the back of Imre. That is, there are 3 classes represented there. Imre for Pro-Am, Hitchcock for Pro, and Relu for... Hitchcock for Am and Relu for Pro. And there was Domino and Vanillé swapping around. That's 20th position. Or for 20th position, I beg your pardon. Bennett has been loitering under a second behind Langham's service. So Andrew's not able to just run off into the distance and leave Bennett behind. Oh, swap position, Coombe and Kleiber. That's a brave move if you do that down there. That's down at Abbey. Oh, Kleiber either backed out of that or had a terrible, terrible run from Club. I would think he backed out of that. Oh, that's Hitchcock letting Rollo through. Although Rollo having to take the outside line, Hitchcock didn't just completely back out of it. And let him have the race at 9. Langham's service is gaining on Martinson. That gap down to 2.7 seconds now. So the Pro-Am lead is not yet decided. 20 minutes remaining. Round about 11 laps-ish. And it's going to be tense for Canute. He's got a long way to go, and he'll know that Langham service is gaining on him. There's another 2 tenths to the BMW. So I'll be definitely keeping an eye on that. All of them pretty handy on the incident limit. Jamie Smith and Marcus Helenika side by side in their respective Fords. Yeah, you definitely don't want to be going side by side coming into Maggots. How did that kick off? Let's have a look. That's going to be an exit from... Good to me. How far back? It's going to be... Was that Zelenika having a crack at Smith coming through Luffield? Well, Smith was wide. I think Smith was actually going for a wider line through Luffield, and Zelenika just jumped in it. Then side by side through Woodcote and then Copse, which, as we know, the Castrol Ford won out on that one. Oh, Kern Van Eyck has just lost a position to Chris Yardley. I think Kern Van Eyck, with all the damage on his car, he backed out of that. He's wanted to just get to the end of the race. Craig Parsons has just lost a spot to Morgan Van Ace. That's down towards the loop. Not a lot going on there. What's going on? Oh, that's an unusual line. Oh my goodness me. A flying forward. Okay, so what's he do? Oh, there we go. The tail let go coming into Club. That would have hurt. Drop Jamie Smith right the way down to 28. And he's had another problem by the look of that, coming through Village and into the loop. I'd suggest there's quite a bit of damage on the bottom of that car, because that was a mighty whack he took against the sausage curb Club. So yeah, I think he's going to be struggling now. Now this is actually a class battle. That's Gorlick and Edouard. Timo Gorlick in the 188 Geodesic Porsche against Roberti Edouard in the 161 Sim Racing Channel White Porsche. That's for 11th overall. For 4th in class. So that Timo Gorlick's got to be careful. He's on 18, as is Sarah Dove. So Sarah's gained quite a few points in the last few laps. Oh, Edouard. See, again, it looks like people are really struggling with their tyres now. Or certainly more so than they've been used to. And Bennett is right on the tail of Langham's service. Now this will be what Canute needed. Because Canute was losing time against Langham's service. But somewhere, again, Langham's service gained 3 tenths on Canute last lap around. But I think he's binned it somewhere, or suddenly Bennett has come alive. As now the Conrad Tepper 250 Ferrari is now right on the case of the geodesic BMW. Martinson, Langham Service and Bennett all on 6 incident points apiece, so they haven't got that to immediately worry about. However, if they start falling off the road because they can't keep the tyres fresh, then that will certainly become an issue for them very, very quickly. Through Maggots, Beckett's and out of Chapel. There's McCracken in the background. And still the gap between Langham Service and Martinson continues to drop. even with Bennett right on his tail. Oh, and that looks scruffy coming through Stowe. I think Martinson may well feel the need to just be a bit gentler with his tyres if he thinks he's not going to make it. But we'll see. 15 3/4 minutes to go. This is a timed race, not a lap count, so lap count could drop. And it generally does by a lap before the checkered flag falls. Oh wow, these two Porsches very close. This is for 11th overall. And for, I beg your pardon, 5th in class. Holstein has 4th. And he is 13 seconds down the road from here. Looks like Roberto Edouard may well have a run at Timo Gorlick fairly soon. Oh, Alex Bennett is keeping the pressure really on Langham Service. You just saw Knut Martinsen go through the shot. Head towards Maggers and Beckett's once again. Yeah, with how strong that BMW's been through here, he's helping Alex. He's basically dragging Alex Bennett with him. Keeping an eye on the times. Well, no, Luke and Victor Matios fairly close together. That is not a class battle. That's the AM leader against Renault Luke, who is in a roughly 8th position. Wallow and Imre still fairly close together. Ben Hitchcock not too far off the back of the BMW. The BMW pair, I should say. Parsons and Domino. Now that is a class fight. The 343 Porsche, both of them part of the PTDC Motorsport squad. So not only is it a class battle, it's an inter-team battle as well. They tend not to have team orders, these teams. Nick has put in some strong performances, but bad luck befell him earlier in this race. Just dropped him down the order somewhat, but he still finds himself in 4th in class. He'll be on the class podium if he can overhaul his fellow PTDC Motorsports racer. Who else can we have a look at? Lindholt and Zelenika still close together. That and behind them, I'm not sure who that was actually. It's a V3 Porsche, I'm entirely certain who. Yep, it's Hendricks. Gilles Hendricks is a lap down from them, so won't be challenging that spot ahead of him. Very cautious through Stowe. Amazingly, we still have had no, now I'm going to say it, we've had no incident limit disqualifications. Kevin Van Eyck has been on 19 for absolutely ages now. Even with that exceedingly battered Porsche. 18 is Sarah Dove and Timo Gorlick. They've been on 18 for a while. So Sarah is still, still in the 58s. So she's still putting in some fairly decent lap times. Despite the fact that the incident count's pretty high for her. Now I've said that, we'll see who falls to it first, and the gap at the Pro-Am lead is less than 2 seconds. Even though Knut was slightly quicker last time around, I think he's made a mistake somewhere, because that gap seems to be shrinking again. 58.8, yeah, 58.3 for Langham Service. Quite a bit quicker. Wow, 58.3 was actually much quicker than our leaders. 58.8, 58.6, that's the current leader's pace. And 58.3 is considerably in excess of that. Holstein's getting close to the back of McCracken. He's still 30 seconds off the lead though, with 11.5 minutes to go. So Holstein's been very much throwing caution to the wind, as we say in the UK. It just means flooring it and getting on with it. wouldn't think Scott McCracken's going to put up too much of a fight. Oh, Sarah Dove's gone up to 19 on the incident count. Flashing lights at someone. No, I think it's Nick Domino. Is that Nick Domino? No, wrong BMW. No, that's not Hendricks. I don't know who that is that she's flashing the lights at. Or Reed? Ah, Casper Reed. There's a couple of laps down now. He started. Oh, it wasn't him that Sarah was flashing the lights at, I don't think. No. Don't know who it is. Can't identify who that. Oh, whoever it is now under a lot of pressure. 348 does get out of the way. 348 is Philippe Salinar. He's been really struggling in this latter half of the race. His lap times are very, very off the pace. It's going to be interesting to see then. Oh, well, the top guys can hang on to their tyres and keep the cars on the black stuff. 10 minutes to go. 6 laps remain here at Silverstone. Caroni has led from lights to now. He's only got 4 incident points on the board, so nothing immediately to worry about there. Klima, second by just shy of 7 seconds. Oh, Imre's just lost a spot. I think he was letting Jeremy Ralou go, not in the same class, but he's got Morgan Valanays not too far behind, who is in the same class. Oh, Scott McCracken, and oh, what on earth happened there? So, oh, that's very close, and a bit of door rubbing between the two. Not really sure where Scott was supposed to go. He was minding his own business on the outside of that, and I think Holstein may well just understeered straight into the side of the Ferrari there. Oh, wow. I'm not sure you need to be that desperate to get through the field, Mr. Holstein, but he's pressing on nonetheless in the closing stages of the race. What, less than 1.2 seconds now. Bennett has really fallen off the back of the BMW. Either through a mistake or through tyres. That's another 4/10 Bennett lost to Langham Service. 1.5 seconds separates the Conrad Tepper Ferrari. There he is. Langham Service is pushing for the class win. Knut Madsen's had that class lead for a very long time. Oh, and that's domino round. What's happened to the BTGT Motorsports 307? Oh, he's dropped that on his own. And he did well to keep that out of the wall, but there ain't going to be a lot of rubber left on those rims. And that was, where did he do that? It was on the exit of Aintree, I think. Oh dear, oh dear. But the Pro-Am lead is getting very spicy. It's the last thing Martinson wanted. There's Langham Service looking to rain on the AOR Yellows parade, and actually Bennett has gotten back on the pace again. 59.3 for Knut, 58.7 for Langham Service, 58.5 for Bennett. The top 3 of the Pro-Ams have been together pretty much all race long. Big old scrap is going to form there in the closing laps. Valanays is right with Evan Imre after that incident he's just been involved with. Porsche looks set to strike. Oh, I thought we'd lost Holstein for a second there, but Holstein is lagging quite badly. We still have those on 19 incidents. They haven't hit the limit yet. Valanays looks absolutely ready to make Evans' day that little bit worse. Into the loop. The Porsche trying to cut back underneath the BMW. He can't use too much slipstream. He's already too close. He's going to go for an inside manoeuvre coming into Brooklands. Evan gives the room. I look close on that camera angle, but he is making Morgan work for it. Around the outside of Lovefield for the Porsche. Can he do it? Oh, very nicely done, Morgan Valanays. That was brilliantly driven. I don't think Evans got a lot of rubber left on the rims. As well, we'll see if Morgan can pull away from him. Whether there is life left yet in that warhorse of Evans' car. Oh, now Bennett is getting back in this battle again. Langham Service was actually the slowest of the three lead Pro-Ams. 4 to go. 1.5 seconds, well, just under that, is Martinson's lead over Langham Service. 0.7 separates Langham Service to Bennett. There is still hope for Canute to take the win. Can Langham Service get back into the 58.3s he was doing only a few laps ago? Can Bennett get involved? Particularly in this latter half of the season, Bennett has really shown very, very strong pace indeed. Remember, this is 6th overall. Only 3 pros are ahead of this pack. So there is more to be decided as yet. Less than 5 minutes remain. Caroni has been leading the whole time. The only time he lost the lead was in the pit stops. And even then it soon came back to the Satellite Racing 113. That's Jamie Smith behind him. The Pro-Ams, led by Canute Martinson, pretty much all race long. Well, certainly for a very lengthy period of time. But Langham Service and Bennett are still determined to change the order of things at the top of that particular pack. Victor Matios is still leading the AMs. It was Kerry Van Eyck who qualified on the first row, beg your pardon, in second position. And now sadly finds himself in 25th. Having had an argument with a few solid things. And on 19 incident points to boot. Christoph Holstein, he's lagging all over the place, and we may have actually lost him as he is falling through the field. He hasn't been disqualified, but I think we're... Oh, Marco Zelenika again. Castrol Ford, too wide. And a bump off the wall. Oh dear, reversing onto track is not normally a good idea. Still going. I think Holstein is out. That would be a disaster. If that is actually the case, he's still falling through the field. That Porsche there, I think, was Casper O'Reed. No, it wasn't Casper O'Reed at all. I'm not sure who that was. Yeah, I'm fairly sure Christoph Holstein is out from that amazing recovery drive of his. Oh, what a great shame for the 109. 3 to go. Less than 3 minutes remain. Where is our leader? On the hanger straight. Oh, less than a second separates Langham Service to Martinson, and less than that between Langham Service and Bennett. Oh, Claudio Klima has just lost a position to Mike. What on earth's happened there? He's had a problem. Oh, there you go. And that's why he would have had a slowdown for that, I'm sure. Has lost a whole bucket load of time. He was fairly comfortably ahead of Mike. Mike is now ahead of Claudio Klima. Oh, Claudio Klima has been his second for absolutely ages. He'll be kicking himself over that. There's our Pro-Am battle. Langham Service is getting very, very close. Less than 2 minutes to go. Canute Martinson's heart must be up in his mouth by now. And we have a faller to the incident limit. It's Timo Gorlick. He's hit the 20, was around about 11th. He is out. The 188 car is gone. It's taken till now. I'm surprised. I thought we'd have a few more than that. There is Jared Caroni. The checkered flag will... Oh no, he'll beat the checkered flag from there. It's got another minute and a bit to go. And he'll beat it, I'd have thought, from there. But this man will want it to drop. The two chasing him won't. The two chasing him want Canute to fall off the road. And still the race rages on. There's Jared Caroni. There he is, coming down towards Vale. He will beat the flag from there. One of the Fords ahead of him. So, Jared Caroni starts the 40th and final lap. No, it was right first time. 41st and final lap of this race. Look how close Langham Service and Bennett are to Martinson. That's the Pro-Am lead. Just one more lap to go. The checkered flag is out in preparation for Caroni. Caroni really cruising now. Ironically, Martinson, well, quite a few people were actually quicker than our race leader last time around. There is Jared Caroni. He finds himself down at Luffield. I think he's down at Luffield. Yep. Oh, now Canute's had a very good run from Abbey through to Aintree. He's given himself quite, well, a comparatively big cushion, and Bennett is now right on top of Andrew Langham Service for second in the Pro-Ams. Oh, now that's not ideal. What happened there? That's what happened there. Now, Bennett was very gracious there to let Langham Service resume that spot. He could have easily passed on the inside. But opted not to, but that's allowed Canute to sprint off by 3 seconds. Oh, wow. Bennett was able to close in, but not able to pass before getting to Maggots. But surprised is no one. It has been an absolutely brilliant performance. I say surprised is no one that this man is going to win. Your winner here in Silverstone is the Satellite Racing 113 of Jared Caroni. Second in the closing stages is the V3 Racing 196 Ford of Mike Scapers. Closely followed by Claudia Klima in the 110 Porsche. Now, Martinson is going to take the class lead, and there behind. Oh, wow. I think Canute might be a bit light on fuel. He takes the class win. Your winner in the Pro-Ams is Canute Martinson. Andrew Langham Service does manage to fend off Bennett for second. Scott McCracken was 9.3 seconds down the road at the end of that. He was right with him for a long time. There's Daniel Page for 4th and 5th in Pro-Ams respectively. Saradov manages to hang on to that 19 incident points to come home in 9th overall. There's Edouard. He's also on 19. Very, very cautiously coming to the last few turns. Robin DeVille. He's been in the walls a little bit. He'll come home 11th. Renault Luke. He's going to lead home our AM leader. The winner of the AMs is the 304 Porsche of Victor Matias. Nicely done once again. Morgan Van Ace. Ben Hitchcock comes home in second. Morgan comes home in 14th overall. There's Jeremy Relu. Evan Imre comes home in 17th. Craig Parsons second in the AMs. Beats home Thomas Coombe. Good effort there around Nick Domino. Has had a fair amount to deal with. He comes home in 4th. 20th overall. Then it's Jürgen Kleiber. Didn't really see Chris Yardley a great deal. The grinning Ford comes home. Oh, what might have been for Cohen Van Eyck. Manages to make it home on 19 incident points. Daniel Lindholt actually kept a clean sheet. He will get bonus points for that 0 on the instant count. That is everybody home. And so your results look like so. Jared Caroni wins once again, 8.8 seconds ahead of Mike Scapers. Then it is Klima Martinson winning the Pro-Ams. Langham Service, Bennett, McCracken, Page, Dove, Edouard, DeVille, Luke, Victor Matios winning the AMs. Valanace, Hitchcock, Ralou, Imre, Parsons, Combe, Domino, Kleiber, Yardley, Van Eyck, Lindholt, Zelenika, Smith, Myers, Christensen, Hendricks, Ulreed, Gorlick, Salinar. Those that didn't see the flag were Holstein, Moraine, Sasolski, Duplessis, McLinch, Waldo, Parkinson and Pfeffer. Wow, what a great race once again by our GTE greats. Oh, goodness me. Well, we'll give our drivers a minute or two to make themselves available. They don't have to come and talk to me, but it's always nice to get a bit of feedback from our drivers on how their race went. But we'll see. We'll see what they want to do. Oh, it also gives me an opportunity to catch my breath a lot of the time. The tyres didn't fall off too badly, but so the lap times were getting slower and slower and slower. But wow, I imagine Canute's got a few things to say after being chased so long. Pretty much all race he was chased by someone. But he came home with a class win. Well done to Jared Caroni, Canute Munson, and once again Victor Matias. Expect great things from him as he continues to extend his lead in the AMs. Usually when I start to close the stream out is when people appear. So I will start to do so. We'll see if anybody pops up and wants to have a chat. So thank you very much to those that have been with us throughout the stream. A great pleasure, as always, to have you with me. Thank you very much to our sponsors. Without you guys, AOR would not continue to grow. And we will be back next week. Let me have a quick check whilst I wait for someone to come and have a chat to me. What is next week? It is going to be Sebring. The bumpy American airport that is, airfield that is Sebring. And there's Jared Caroni. Called it. Let's have a chat with our pro winner. Bonjour, Gerard.
Bonsoir.
Once again, we find you on the top spot. Class of one. You were absolutely incredible. Well done once again. There must be a secret. There must be something you know that the rest don't.
No. To be honest, no, absolutely not. To be fair, I just drive an LMS race during the afternoon to see where I could be. And then I was 8/10 of the pace from BMW guys, so I was a bit worried, like in Road America last week. But it didn't happen because the top guys didn't drive the BMW, but I thought that the Porsche and the Ford will be faster than this.
Now, we were wondering before the race whether tyre wear was going to be a problem. It was quite warm trackside, and rumour has it that tyre wear was a concern. Was that the case for you? Because again, I was looking at the lap times and they were getting gradually higher even after the pit stop. So was tyre wear ever a problem?
Yeah, absolutely. To be honest, it's very an horrible track to drive. You never know where the grip is in the racing line, obviously, but you never know how the car will be in the behavior. So you lost about 2/10 a lap per lap. You lost about 2/10 per lap. Claudio was about the same pace as me, maybe 1/10 slower, I don't know. But yeah, the grip is very weird on this track.
Once again, you conquered it and continue to assert your dominance at the top of the field. Bella c'est bien. Well done.
Thanks.
To you. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I hope I haven't just said something wrong. I always worry when I try different language.
No worries.
Well done. Thank you very much, Jared Caroni. I'm sure we'll speak to you again.
Bye.
Bonsoir, my friend. And we've got a few others that are looking to have a chat to us. We've got, as always, Sarah Dove. She does like to come and have a chat to us. Let's grab her over. Hello, Sarah.
Hello.
Well, how did you get on? A decent showing in the Pro-Ams towards the end. Talk us through it from your side.
I got killed out of a good finish again.
Oh, I did wonder whether you've been able to repeat your luck from Phillip Island. We're still waiting for that.
Yeah, I think I used it all up. In lap 1, I think Dan spun again and collected me, so I had
oh dear,
a lot of damage, and I could go the same speed as Fizzy and the others that were racing up there, but I just couldn't catch them.
A shame. Again, I'd ask this to Gerard, so I'll ask it to you. Was tyre wear a concern at any stage, or were you sort of more managing the damage that had happened in the opening part of the race?
For me, it was a bit of a problem at the end because I had some damage and I wasn't as fast in a straight line as normal. I had to push constantly to stay in the draft of anyone. So by the time the last 10 laps, the tyres were a bit iffy.
A bit second hand by then.
Yeah.
So, Sebring next week. What are your thoughts towards that one?
Okay, not the best.
Well, good luck for it nonetheless, and we look forward to chatting to you again.
Thank you.
Thank you, Saradav. Thomas Coombe is also in the box. Let's have a chat with him. Hello, Thomas.
Hello, how are you?
Very well. I've had good fun shouting about you all. Talk us through it from your side.
Well, I had a really poor practice in qualifying. The car was really bad. I made a couple adjustments before the race and it seemed to really help with the stability of the car. I lost quite a few positions early on, but sort of made my way back up before the pit stops. When I pitted quite early because I was in a really big group of cars, so I gained like 4 or 5 positions over the pit stop. And then by the end of the race, I think everyone in my class at least was struggling with tyre wear a bit, so I was able to close in quite a bit on everyone around me, which really helped gain some positions near the end.
Now, when you're pondering setups in between sessions, it must be a bit of a worry of, what if I get this wrong? Were you quite confident on the setup changes you were making, or was that niggling doubt there until you kind of got underway?
Well, yeah, in practice I was just sliding all over the place, so because I'm not really sure on what I'm doing with setups, I sort of asked Mike what could help, and he gave me a bit of advice which did at least help with stability, and it helped me be a lot more consistent than I was at any point in practice. So yeah, it was a lot better than I was expecting.
I see. Well, good effort again, and we look forward to having a chat with you as the season progresses.
Yep, thank you very much.
And that is definitely going to wrap it up for this evening. Thank you very much to everybody once again, and we will see you next week for Sebring, but there's plenty of other things going on in between then and now, so check back with us then as well. Thank you very much, and good night.